Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
A Muncie house fire gives some Ball State athletes quite the scare. Good evening, I'm Emerson Lehman.
And I'm Rachel Russell. Thank you for joining us. The house is on Linden Street. It is known by Ball State students as the men's volleyball house, as a number of Ball State volleyball players live there. The occupants were at practice when they found out what happened. No injuries were reported, and according to a lieutenant on the scene, the fire was contained to just the kitchen. However, smoke damage was found throughout the house.
And the more we keep to one room, the better. And that's, so hopefully most of the time that's the way it is we get it, that we keep it from spreading from the room of origin. Obviously the property damage is significant yet repairable, so that is definitely the goal. After life safety is taken into consideration, to limit it to that room of origin.
We talked to our land people. They said they have a couple vacant spaces. Not all 5 of us will fit, but we can do 3 and 2. And so we're gonna have to just haul all our stuff over there and wait. And I think they're gonna get new carpeting, painting, renovate the kitchen, and they're gonna have to do a lot of work to the house before they allow us to go back and live there.
A suspect is behind bars this morning following the assault of an undergraduate student at Purdue University. The suspect, 28-year-old Chang Lee, is a postdoctoral research associate at Purdue. Police say Lee and the victim met on a chat app and agreed to meet outside her Hilltop apartment building Tuesday night. Lee allegedly followed the victim into her apartment, where he confined and sexually battered her. The victim did not suffer any injuries. Lee is being held without bond, facing charges of criminal confinement and sexual battery. Ball State's University Police Department is making an effort to be more transparent. UPD Chief Jim Duckham met with multiple members of student media this afternoon in an effort to answer the numerous interview requests sent to his office. When asked about this new plan, Chief Duckham was upfront about what he hoped it would accomplish.
If all 6 of you today requested interviews, I don't have the time to do that. This is an opportunity for where we can really get to talk and if there's a pressing thing, certainly Lisa and Joan would set it up that we could get something done. But if you have a story like on terrorism and you have a story on marijuana and stuff and you have a deadline that's 3 weeks out and we're going to meet, this is a really good opportunity to do that.
The Indiana Secretary of State expanded an investigation yesterday after state police raided a voter registration office in Indianapolis. False information is allegedly being forged onto voter registration forms. 9 counties across the state currently fall under the investigation, including Delaware County.
Yes, well, Rachel, while the election is just a month out, while the election is just days or just 1 month out, this news doesn't come at the best of times, especially when Indiana has played such a major role during this election. I reached out to the Delaware County Voters Registration Office for a statement, and they told me that this situation is being blown completely out of proportion. The office manager said that there is, quote, absolutely no need for the mass chaos going on. But the Indiana Secretary of State's office is taking these allegations seriously, saying that the number of people affected could be in the hundreds. This means that voters may not know that they are affected and could show up to the polls on Election Day and not be able to vote.
Thanks, Britton. As November 8th gets closer, NewsLink Indiana will keep you updated on all of the latest election news.
It didn't take long for vice presidential candidates to clash during the VP debate Tuesday night. The candidates kept the focus on Trump and Clinton, continually speaking over one another in defense of their running mates.
At the start of the vice presidential debate, Tim Kaine laid into Mike Pence's running mate, Donald Trump.
The thought of Donald Trump as commander-in-chief scares us to death.
During the opening minutes, Kaine remained on the offense, interrupting his opponent.
She had a private server I get to weigh in that was discovered.
Gentlemen, the people at home cannot understand either one of you when you speak over each other.
Pence defended Trump by focusing on Hillary Clinton.
The campaign of Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine has been an avalanche of insults. There's a reason why people question the trustworthiness of Hillary Clinton, and that's because they're paying attention. I mean, the reality is when she was Secretary of State, Senator, come on. She had a Clinton Foundation accepting contributions from foreign governments.
You are Donald Trump's apprentice.
Both men vying to be a heartbeat away from the White House.
Senator, I'll work with you when you go back to the Senate.
While touting the qualities of the person they want to be president.
A nation without borders is not a nation. Donald Trump is committed to restoring the borders of this nation.
So, on the economy, there's a fundamental choice for the American electorate. Do you want a you're hired president in Hillary Clinton, or do you want a you're fired president in Donald Trump?
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Well, Rachel, we've really had a mix-up with this fall weather. We've had some sunny skies and warm temperatures.
Yeah, I'm really hoping these temperatures are going to stick around. Caleb, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so those warmer temperatures are actually going to hang around for just a few more days. Take a look at this big area of warm temperatures making their way up through the south, but we can see these cooler temperatures starting to work their way in. Highs around the region today were primarily in the low 80s, and this is what I'm looking at coming up. Skies are going to grow cloudier. There's going to be a slight rain chance, and cooler temperatures are expected for the weekend, and I'll have more on that here in the next half an hour.
Coming up, Hurricane Matthew has many in the southern coastal states preparing for the worst.
And find out how one Muncie location chose to bring awareness to Mental Illness Week. Stay tuned.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. In honor of Mental Illness Week, Minnetrista Parkway is hosting an art gallery portraying a more personal side of the illness. NewsLink Indiana's Brianni Williams has the story.
The director of the Mental Illness Gallery expressed overall concern.
A lot of folks who have dealt with mental illness and families or friends, and so I think a lot of them saw themselves in these different images, and it was just meaningful for them that somebody could talk about their issues in either the poetry or the art.
Ball State students Nicholas Norris and Jasmine D. Shazer also expressed how these portraits not only affected themselves, but their family members as well.
I didn't have a particular family member that dealt with depression, but with other family members revolving around her, it was easy for her to overcome this depression and to move forward in life to accomplish more goals that she had for herself.
Okay. Yeah, I knew somebody with depression. I know a couple people with depression and bipolar, so I'm sure they can really relate to this. They really tend to feel stuck and they tend to feel like can't nothing help them, which is how heavy water is. You ever been swimming, like you know how hard it is sometimes. You can't swim to get back to the top. So I really feel like this piece really shows that for a lot of people with depression.
If you want to visit the art gallery, it runs from now until October 31st.
The Bahamas and Florida could be next in the path of destruction as Hurricane Matthew continues to develop, leaving the southeast coast in a state of emergency. Boris Sanchez reports.
The rush in Florida is on, and so is the crush of residents lining up to gear up for Hurricane Matthew. Some gas stations are gridlocked, the lines so long, at least one station simply ran out of gas.
It is a little bit crazy. I never expected to come and see so many people. I'm hearing a lot of screeching of tires, and I'm just waiting my time.
State officials urging residents to have 3 days of food and water and fully charged cell phones and batteries.
Once you lose power, you will not be able to recharge your cell phone. Your cell phone might be your only contact with somebody else or your only way of getting information.
In some places, tourists soaking up their last few rays of sun. But the rain and wind-battered images from Haiti serving as an alarm. Some Florida communities on barrier islands are already evacuating.
Just looking in that direction, you know, that it's pretty scary out there.
It's the first time a hurricane will batter Florida's east coast since Wilma in 2005. President Obama stressing the need to obey warnings.
If you get an evacuation order, just remember that you can always rebuild, you can always repair property. You cannot restore a life.
Most evacuations are for the storm surge hazard, the deadliest hazard of all historically.
The most populated area in Florida, Miami, could escape the worst, but hurricanes can shift, which is why no one in this near-empty harbor is taking a chance.
Just batten everything down, make sure the boat's prepped for a 50 to 60 mile an hour wind, and then, you know, hope everything works out.
Well, luckily here in Indiana, we don't have a hurricane to worry about, but is severe weather headed our way?
Your full weather forecast is next.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Well, Rachel, it looks like the southeastern states are really in for a big mess with the hurricane coming.
Absolutely. Caleb, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so that hurricane is hovering around the Florida Panhandle currently. Now take a look at this picture. This is that skull picture that's sort of been hanging around, just been circulating on the internet throughout the day today. Some people are seeing a skull, some people are seeing the face of Harambe. Don't really know, but what I'm seeing is Hurricane Matthew, but that's going to stay out of our area for the rest of the week. Take a look at this shot down McKinley Avenue. We saw nice clear skies today, but those cloudy skies began to roll back in this evening. Currently outside, we're seeing a temperature of 73 degrees. Cloud cover hanging around, like I said, dew point feeling a bit muggy out there. It's at 64 degrees. Current conditions out in the area, 70 degrees in Shelbyville, 71 in Indianapolis. Up in Lafayette, 67 Kokomo, 66 Fort Wayne. You're at 70 degrees currently. And those highs today, they were unseasonably warm around here. Today in Muncie, we made it up to 83 degrees. Look at that over in Champaign, Illinois, 85 degrees, 80 in Lafayette, 79 in Indianapolis. But this is normally the time of year we're expecting to see the first frost here in Muncie and throughout central Indiana. Here, expecting it today, October 5th in Indianapolis. They're normally expecting theirs around October 11th. Anderson, their first frost comes around October 6th, with the first freeze coming later on in the month. Current satellite situation, we can actually see off to our east a few pockets of precipitation that popped up, moved through our area. Didn't really cause any trouble here this evening. But that's all ahead of this cold front that has started to work its way into our area, but it's going to begin to back off a little bit, and that's really going to begin to move around and in through our area during the overnight on Friday. So Thursday morning, by the time we wake up, just a few clouds. You can see that heavier precipitation start to work its way in, but that's going to begin to break up. Conditions overnight tonight drop down to 61 degrees, 30% chance of rain overnight. Winds out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And if you take a look at your bus stop, that rain's going to taper off by 7 a.m. 63 degrees at 3 p.m. We'll be at 79 degrees, but those warm temperatures are going to hang around. Now the precision cast, we're seeing those cloud cover begin to move out of our area, but I think we're going to see more cloud cover than what this model run is showing. High temperature tomorrow, 80 degrees. We'll see partly cloudy skies, and our precision cast throughout the day on Friday and into Friday evening. We can see that cold front along with those clouds are moving through our area, and we're going to have colder temperatures but clearer skies for the weekend, fortunately for us. So if you're headed to the Ball State football game in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, as they take on Central Michigan, temperatures only going to make it up to 58 degrees. You'll see mostly sunny skies, but there are going to be relatively strong winds by that 3:30 p.m. kickoff time, and your 7-day forecast looks like this: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That rain chance hangs around, but early into the weekend on Sunday, 68 degrees. That sunshine returns Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to see those temperatures hang around the low 70s. So, guys, although we are cooling off for the weekend, if you take a look, the fall break forecast looking very nice for those of us that are hanging around Muncie. Hopefully, some of you guys are able to travel and take some time off.
Well, thank you very much, Caleb. And I'm sure once November, December rolls around, the snow starts rolling, and we'll be really be missing these nice warm days that we've had here.
Yeah, I know I will be.
And a lot of students will. It's good that they'll have some good weather for their plans for fall break coming up.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah. So this warmer trend is going to hang around into Friday. That cold front's going to move through. Temperatures are going to drop drastically.
And any big plans for yourself for fall break?
Yeah, actually, a group of my friends and I, we're actually going up to Sleeping Bear Dunes in Michigan. We're going camping over fall break. So we'll be back on Tuesday when all that sunshine returns.
Sounds like an excellent time. All right. Well, thank you. And DeMarcus, what's coming up in sports?
Ball State football on the road at Central Michigan. We'll preview that matchup. And also, women's basketball embarks on a new season journey. You'll hear from head coach Brady Selly next in sports.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Ball State football returns to action this weekend as they travel to Central Michigan to take on the Chippewas. The Cardinals are eager to get back to their winning ways, but know beating Central Michigan will be a tall task. The Chippewas are led by senior All-MAC quarterback Cooper Rush, who is the active FBS leader in passing yards. He currently has 14 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions on the season. The Central Michigan offense is averaging 33 points a game and 436 yards a contest under Rush's direction. Rush threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns against Ball State last season. Mike New knows his Cardinals will have their hands full on Saturday.
Man, he's a gamer. He's a guy that just makes plays. No matter what the current situation is, in any game that he's been into, he just keeps competing. When you watch the tape, you know very quickly why he's one of the best in our conference and one of the best in the country.
Meanwhile, Ball State women's basketball officially kicked off their season over the weekend with the first official practice. Our Ben Shuren has more on how the program is trying to take the next step this season.
Despite a 21-9 season, Ball State was knocked out of the MAC tournament in the quarterfinals, resulting in their 4th straight trip to the women's NIT. However, head coach Brady Sally and the Cardinals say that their goal is much larger this season.
We've got to take that next step and go win that tournament, but we're trying to create a program that has real aspirations to be an at-large team if those 3 days don't go the way you want them to. We don't want to put the onus on going and winning 3 days in a row, because crazy things happen in those tournaments. You see it all over the country. So we're trying to build a program that has every right to think that if for some reason in Cleveland it doesn't go our way, we're still on that board and in consideration to play in the postseason.
Ball State will have to fill the hole of losing the program's all-time leading scorer, Natalie Fontaine. Carmen Grande addressed how the Cardinals will replace her production.
Losing Natalie definitely is something that is going to affect us, but I think that we have to look at it as a new opportunity for people to step up, and I feel like we're going to see some people that maybe we wouldn't be able to see if Natalie was here. So that's going to bring new opportunities for other people.
The women's basketball team has their first game of the season on November 11th at home against Arkansas Pine Bluff. In Muncie, I'm Ben Shuren, NewsLink, Indiana.
Finally, on the soccer field, Ball State is preparing to face off against the defending MAC tournament champion, Western Michigan Broncos. The Cardinals come in undefeated in the MAC and on a 5-game win streak. Western Michigan stands at 8-4 with a 2-2 conference record. Head coach Craig Roberts believes that Western has to be careful about what the Cards do offensively.
Playing against a team like Ball State, where we have great speed, is that you throw a lot of numbers forwards, and sometimes it may come back to haunt you with our speed of breakaway. So that's something that I think they're going to bring to the table, is just wanting to get forwards and attacking. But at the same time, they're going to have to be a little bit wary about doing that in the sense of what we bring to the table offensively.
All right, well, thank you, DeMarcus. And, moving with sports into the NFL, the Colts have been struggling lately, but they made some big changes today. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the Colts cut cornerback Antonio Cromartie and inside linebacker C.O. Moore, so definitely they're trying to shake things up, get this team on the right track to hopefully make some more wins this season.
That sounds good. I'm looking forward to watching some more Colts games this season.
Of course.
Up next, find out if the rumor is true about the beloved kids show SpongeBob SquarePants being canceled.
And also, how is Kim Kardashian dealing with being back in the States after being held at gunpoint in Paris? Stay tuned.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Hello everyone, I'm Sammy Penkel here with your entertainment segment tonight. Twitter has confirmed that Hilary Duff has gotten another tattoo. Now, as interesting as the star of my childhood getting a tattoo is, what is possibly more interesting is the inspiration behind the tattoo. Many have said the inspiration for the star's new tattoo is a song she wrote with Ed Sheeran for her album coming out next year. Duff said she received a call from Sheeran saying, quote, "I know you have a 2-year-old, but could you please come and record at midnight?" Of course, for Ed Sheeran, Duff couldn't resist. After Sheeran did all the harmonies and background in about 15 minutes, Duff says, quote, "He just musically has to put in no effort, it seems. It's just him." Speaking of childhood memories, there was an image announcing that the beloved kids show SpongeBob SquarePants has been canceled after 17 years of airing. It has been all over social media, but I am here to assure you all that it is just a rumor. The show is definitely here to stay. Believe it or not, the show was originally created for the network Adult Swim, with Patrick and SpongeBob being a homosexual couple, but it was rejected by the network and Nickelodeon picked it up as long as they made it into a kids show. Good call for Nickelodeon because it has been one of their most popular shows of all time, and it seems they don't intend on canceling it anytime soon. After being robbed at gunpoint in Paris, Kim Kardashian is back in the States and says she is, quote, emotionally damaged. Husband Kanye West has even rescheduled 2 of his upcoming tour dates to be with his wife in her time of need. Live in the newsroom, I'm Sammy Penkel. Back to you at the desk.
Well, guys, I can't tell you how happy it makes me that we're going to have some good weather for a fall break coming up.
Yeah, Caleb, can you give us one last look at that weather?
Yeah, so our football forecast looks like this. If you're headed up to Mount Pleasant, Michigan on Saturday, 58 degrees for that high temperature. So it's going to be a bit chilly, so make sure to take the jacket with you. But mostly sunny conditions on Saturday. And your 7-day forecast looks like this again. Sunday, Monday, that sunshine returns. Temperatures are going to work their way up through the 60s into the low 70s. Slight rain chance returns on Tuesday. Not really going to amount to much. Temperatures are going to be nice and pleasant to begin the work week.
And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.